Hi, how are you? Okay, so this is the few-step process of how to make sure that your brit stays holy. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, "You be holy, because I am holy." So we have to keep ourselves holy. But the problem is that we have a Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara works 24 hours a day when we're sleeping, when we're awake, but is only allowed to do certain things if we give him an opening, as it says in Parashat Bereshit, "Lapetach chatat rovetz," meaning that if we leave an opening for the Yetzer Hara breaks the door down. So what are the openings? First and foremost, Gemara says, Masechet Avodah Zarah, don't look at evil during the day because it'll come. Don't look at immodesty during the day because the evil will come to you at night. So a person has to watch his eyes. You have to watch your eyes more than anything else, because anything that you see is permanently recorded in your mind, in your neshama, and it's going to impact you. So, of course, immodesty is everywhere, but you don't get punished or even give the Yetzer Hara an opening for a first look that's an instant that happens. You get punished for stares, for staying looking, meaning you see something and you don't look away. So you have to train yourself to look away immediately as soon as you see modesty, as if you just, saw something disgusting. So you have to make sure you train your eyes. This takes a little bit of time, but nonetheless, it's very much possible. Second thing is that a person needs to educate themselves about this subject. While the first step of tshuva is to stop, obviously, the purposeful sin, the second step is to put a gedel, to put a fence. What's the fence? A fence is to educate yourself enough about the sin to make sure that you don't ever do it purposeful or unintentional, by watching the shurim or listening to the shurim on a regular basis, not like once in a blue moon, but on a regular basis. Every guy needs to listen to these shurim at least 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day, depending on their, on their stage of their tshuva. But every day they have to get a little bit of musar about this topic, because when it comes to arayot, en apotropos l'arayot, meaning that nobody is above the issues of morality. Even if you've been watching your brit for 20 years, you still have to keep that fence strong. So you have to listen to those shurim and make sure that you're very, very much aware of the issue. If you could, there's also books. If you're fluent Hebrew reader, there's some books there too. But the shurim combination with the books is always good, because sometimes listening to a voice hits the neshama with more than words on a piece of paper. Sometimes the opposite. Whatever affects your neshama. So the shurim is the second step. The third step is to, once you've learned enough about the topic, is to make sure that you are protecting yourself at night. Now, how do you protect yourself at night? There are certain things you need to do. Number one, don't eat big meals before you go to sleep. That's the first thing. Second, don't eat spicy food. Third, when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, say the Shema Yisrael. The Shema L'mitah helps you, and also as a special prayer on top of it, ask Hashem to protect you during the night so nothing comes out. Next step is to start your night by sleeping on your left side. Okay, this is a very big must. Shulchan Aruch says even if you see your father sleeping on his back, you have to wake him up, even though it's something that would look like a violation of Kibud Av V'em, but Shulchan Aruch says it's not. And the reason why is because when a guy sleeps on his back, it's pikuach nefesh. Pikuach nefesh meaning it's life risk, because seed will come out if he stays on his back for an extended period of time. Can't sleep on your back, you can't sleep on your stomach, which means that sleep becomes much less it's less comfortable, but you have to do it. And obviously this is something that takes training, because in the beginning, while you're going to sleep, it's easy to sleep on your left or your right, whatever it is. But while you're sleeping, to stay on your left and your right, you lose control of your body. Most important is to stay on your left and right, when you have control. But over time, you'll stay that way the whole night. So that's something very important. Next step is, what do you do while you're awake? Now, sometimes guys get hot for different reasons. They saw something on the internet, on some screen, or in real life. This is different things that a person needs to overcome. Even if he's good right now, he has to already know these things so he's prepared. So if he ever gets hot and he's a single guy, then run to a cold shower. Take a cold shower because normal human body loses their arousal with with cold water. If that's not possible, let's say you're at work, you're in an office, you can't take a cold shower, then you have to exert energy. Start doing some push-ups, sit-ups, things like that to exert your energy. Now, if neither one of those options is available, let's say, for example, you're an Uber driver and you can't, take a cold shower and you can't do push-ups because you're in the middle of the highway, you can't do either one of them, then you're option number 3, the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, which is you have to inflict pain in yourself. What kind of pain? Take, your fingers and pinch yourself in a very sensitive spot, either behind the wrist or behind the leg, not to the point of bleeding or anything like that, or damaging yourself permanently, chas v'shalom, but nonetheless, enough pain where you realize that, it's you lose the arousal, because a normal human body loses their arousal when they have pain. And again, I'm saying normal. There are some sadistic people out there that want the opposite, but if you're a normal person, this should be enough. This is how to deal with it during the day. Obviously, listening to shiurim and so on. This is with or without this has to happen. But the point is that you have to know how to deal with it. After that, you have to make sure that you've learned enough about the sin that you understand the magnitude of the damage that a person created. Doesn't matter if they were a teenager. Doesn't matter even if they were 9 years old. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that it's in the Zohar that this is the only sin that he punishes a person regardless of what age they did it. So that means that every person needs to do TeShuva for it. Tikkun HaBrit is a very big deal in Shemayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroyed the world. It's the time of Noach because of Tikkun HaBrit. So a person needs to do TeShuva for this issue. How do they do TeShuva? Aside from stopping, aside from making sure they don't do it again, they have to help people do TeShuva. Now, how do you help people do TeShuva? You could share the shiurim that we have on our site. You could do that for free. You could sponsor CDs. We have actually CDs coming out which just talks about Tikkun HaBrit. It's the first time in history that there's a CD about this in English. That's coming up B'ezrat Hashem next month. So you could sponsor CDs. There's also just a sharing the lectures that we have online for free, sharing the lectures that we do live. Point being is that you could do it on WhatsApp, Facebook. All of these different social medias need to be used for a positive reason, not just to waste life. So there's a lot of ways to share this Torah to get other people to do TeShuva for this issue. And the reason why is because this is the only true way for us to undo what we've done in the past. Next step is also there's Tikkun HaBrit. The Tikkun HaBrit is also giving money for the sake of every time we wasted seed. Now, the average guy has no clue of how many times he did it, especially if he only found out that this is even a sin when he's in his mid-20s, 30s, or 40s. So Tikkun HaBrit is very expensive, but nonetheless necessary for every guy to do as much as he possibly can, meaning Hashem is not going to punish him for things that he can't do, but he will punish him for things that he can do, and he chooses not to do it. So we have a campaign that talks about exactly what it means, how much to give, first, and so on. I'll send you the information you can review. In so many words, a person should make this particular type of donation as a permanent part of their TeShuva. Meaning, if they have done it as many times as the average teenager does it, this is simply something they need to give to as often as they can. Once a month, twice a month, once a quarter, whatever it is, whatever they can give. And again, this is for themselves. It's not for anybody else. This is simply a person doing Tikkun HaBrit is not only helping people, not only helping his own neshama undo what damage that he did, but with our particular campaign, since we're using the money to publicize shiurim about this issue, it's also helping him do KIRUV. So that's the next thing. Last thing is to make sure that he understands enough about the sin that he prays to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he cries about it. He cries about every time that he sinned. He cries about this issue that what he's done, because it is a very big damage. Now, of course, a person is not going to be able to cry about it in the beginning because he doesn't even realize why it's so bad. This takes a little bit of time. But he needs to learn about this topic because it's critical. It's critical for him to know it. Obviously, you need to get married, but marriage is not a solution. Marriage is just a way to contain it. If a person does not know how to control himself, even if he's married to 20 wives, it's not going to be enough. None of that stuff is people think that marriage is a solution. Marriage is a way to contain it to a certain extent, but guys that don't have control, if they're married, not married, it doesn't make a difference. I have plenty of guys that I deal with and try to help with this issue that are married, and when they come to me, they're addicted to it worse than teenagers. The problem only deteriorates over time, so it's very important to take it seriously. Like I said, at night, make sure that you don't watch anything filthy before you go to sleep or at all. Make sure that you sleep on your left side. Don't eat a big meal before you go to sleep. Don't eat spicy food. Sleep on your left. Say Shema Yisrael to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Also have a special prayer for Hashem to help you. During the night. This is why the tefillah that is part of Shema Lamita mentions that Shlomo Melech had all of these guards around his bed. Why do you have all these guards around his bed? To protect him from all the demons that come to affect the person, to make him waste seed. Shlomo Melech was scared to go to sleep. So was David Melech. So was the Gaon Mivina. So were all the tzaddikim. They're all petrified of going to sleep for an extended period of time. Oh, and last but not least, don't sleep too much. Like you can sleep 5, 6, 7 hours, whatever you need to sleep, but don't be like one of these teenagers that has long binges of sleeping, 10 hours. It's very bad to sleep very long, and also try not to sleep during the day very much. More than a half hour, let's say on Shabbat, that's enough. Don't sleep a long time during the day because that's also a problem. And that's it. Learn a lot of Torah, learn Gemara, and B'ezrat Hashem, you'll succeed in a very big way. Kol Tuv, Hatzlacha Rabba.